8.2, multiplying and dividing and simplifying radical. Learning objectives. Multiply square roots radical. Simplify radical using the product rule. Simplify radical using the quotient rule. Simplify radicals involving variables. Simplify other roots. And you have vocabulary here, perfect cube, perfect square as well. What's mean perfect square? Is 4 is a perfect square number? Yes. Why? Because it's 2 times 2. Is 16 is a perfect square number? Yes, because it's 4 times 4. Is 25 is a perfect square number?
Yes.
Yes. Why?
5 times 5.
5 times 5. Okay. Is, and now we go for perfect cube. The question here is 8 is a perfect cube?
Yes.
Yes. Why?
2
Because it's 2 times 2 times 2. Is 125 is a perfect cube number? Yes. Why? Because 5 times 5 times 5. So do you understand what's the meaning of perfect cube now? And before I told you what is radical, right? And I told you what is radicand, right? Remember that? Okay. So you need to use the vocabulary terms listed below to complete each statement in exercise 1, 2, 3. So 27 is considered what? Radicand, right? And the value here is called what? Index. And this whole thing is called what? Radical. And what is this called? Radical A symbol. Just for the people who are not here. All right, let's go for some exercises. Square root of 5 times the square root of 7. What will be the answer? 5 times 7, which will give you how much? 35. 6 times 7. Give you what? 42. 11 t. What about this? 252 over 7. Okay. Simplify each radical. Assume all variables represent non-negative number. Here, square root of what? 3 squared, right? So the answer is what? 3. What's the answer here? 6. What's the answer here? 4. Why 4? Because you have 2 to the power of 2, right? 2 to the power of 2, 2 to the power of 2. So the answer is what? 2 to the power of 2, which is how much? 4. Next one, what's the answer? 13. What's the answer? What's the answer? So you get x times x, which is what? X squared. Clear? I'll do the hardest one. Which one is the hardest one? Which one is the hardest one? I guess I, right? Right? So x to the power of 44, right? 44 divided by 2, what are you going to get? 22, right? And y to the power of 50. 50 divided by 2, how much? 25, right? Very good. So is this clear? So that's your answer, right? Any questions? Let's go to the next question. So all you have to do is just divide by 2. Here, what you're going to divide by? By 2. But here, I have to break down the 8. It become what? 4 and 2, right? What's the square root of 4? 2. Do we have a square root of 2? No, just keep it as it is. 18 is what by what? 18 is what by what? 9 times 2. You have to get what is called perfect square number, right? So 9 is a perfect square number. So what's the square root of 9? 3. And then you bring down this. Okay, 72 is what by what? 9? 9 times what? 8. And 8 is what by what? 4 times what? 2. So actually, this is what you have. What's the square root of 9? What's the square root of 4? And then you bring down this. 3 times 2? That's your final answer. Easy? Okay, you do this classwork. Let's go for the one in the bottom here. I'll do the hard one. Which one is the hard one? K or L or J? K. Well, J. Okay, let's do K. 128. I'll break down 128 to become what? Give me two numbers. One number is perfect square number. How much? 16 times what? 16 times 16 times 6? 16 times 4? That give you 128?
No. 16 times 6 times 6.
Times 6 again?
16 times 6.
Use the calculator. So 128 divided by 16. That give you 8. Okay? So here it's not 4, it's 8. Now what about 8? 8 is what by what? 4 times 2. So this whole thing looks like this. 16 is perfect square number, 4 is a perfect square number, so this is 4 times 2 times what? Square root of 2. What about x to the power of 6? X to the power of 6 divided by what? 2. So your answer will be what? X to the power of 3. Y to the power of 8 divided by what? 2. So y to the power of what? 4. So your final answer is what? 8 square root of 2 x cubed y to the power of 4. Is that clear? Please copy this into your notebook. That's the final answer. Can somebody tell me why I divide by 2 here? Because what is the power here? What is the index? How much the index? Index is 2. So you have to divide the power here by what? By 2. Is this clear? Yeah, let's try to do I. Everybody try to do I. Remember, x to the power of 8, x to the power of 9 is x to the power of 8 times x. Y to the power of 3 is going to be y to the power of 2, y. W7 is going to be W6 times what? W. Yeah, put this under. What about 63?
9.
9 times what?
7.
9 times 7. Yalla, can you do this? Yalla, good luck.